And the mind finds rest in the vague drift of one's meanderings, right? This is such a tale. Let's go!
This is a story about boys.
From the lowlands of Los Angeles.
In case anybody doesn't know, this is Terminal A. That is Lee
Hi.
Bush, Colin Peterson,
Hey.
and Lee, you are from.
Chicago, Illinois, originally.
So you were born there.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I've been a California kid since I was a young teenager.
Wow. And Colin,
Well, I've been privileged.
give us the lowdown.
Okay, I've been privileged enough to be nursed on the sweet and supple bosom of the California coast my whole life. Born in Santa Barbara, raised in Orange County. I know. It's beautiful. Every time I hear Dick Dale, there's a single diamond tear in my eye, and I feel
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
akin to just like a welling. What German people must
Yes.
feel when they hear Wagner, I feel when I hear Dick Dale.
There you go. Right. Because you're a native son
Yes.
of this place.
Yes.
That's amazing. Where was it? Like a beach city?
It was Laguna Beach, yeah, which
Oh,
used
yeah.
to be cool because there's a big gay scene, and then Mike Lorman from the Stitches had a record store, so there was like it was like
Yeah.
you do all your partying and kind of hang out in these gay cafes, and then just like at the end of the night, skinny dip on the beach. It was the freest. It was a kind of freedom that I feel just like privileged to bask in the
Yeah.
beauty of.
And you were what age?
Oh, this was like all throughout high school and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, you really took advantage of that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did,
That's
Terry.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a kind of a, it's a thing that only exists here. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that just that feeling. I mean, I'm not from California, but when I came out here after some initial resistance, I actually hated it, wanted to burn the whole thing to the ground, but
Yeah, for sure.
and my orientation wasn't it was started in the middle of the San Fernando Valley,
Yeah.
and then it went to Hollywood,
Yeah.
and so I didn't really, the beach to me was just like, a place where weirdos and airheads hung out, but then I started meeting slowly but surely
Yeah.
people that were from San Pedro, we're from Huntington Beach, we're from all these different places, and you begin to kind of stitch this incredible tapestry of
Yes,
Southern California
exactly. And
people, and they weren't all natives.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of them were. But you just kind of get into this vibe. That, I mean, I don't know where else you would feel.
No,
plug
and
into something
that
like
is
that.
one thing that I like about beach culture and the kind of thing that it attracts or attracted, in the last century. For instance, like Timothy Leary back in the day had a presence in Laguna.
Yeah.
So it's like you'd get kind of these burnt out hippies too that were just like left over from the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah, plenty of
and
those.
all the out of touch
Yeah.
landlords and stuff. So it was like, it is kind of cool because there's like there are two things. There's like a freedom in that where it's like people just lay weird shit on you all the time, but also
Yeah.
because beach culture is so relaxed and chill, there's kind of like just nihilistic ears taking that heavy shit. And that whole
Right.
process is funny to me.
Yeah.
You know what I
is.
mean?
It is. But that's one thing I love about this. My experience here is that there, if not an undercurrent of genuine like comedy, where it doesn't get too bad, because there's always something to laugh about.
Yeah.
Totally.
There's always when in the the OG punk days, 77, 78, 79. I mean, I think we did two things. We laughed more than anything else, and then we listened to records. But it was just kind of like, and it wasn't so much laughing at things. It was just enjoying
Yeah.
the moment. And things
Yeah.
were funny. And if they were funny, we liked that. You tried to be funny. You tried to be funnier than the next person. And I love that about here because it's not that heavy angst.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to New York because I just thought, oh, that's cool. I love that. You know, that dark, edgy, angsty thing.
Yeah.
And then we finally took a few years, finally played there when I was in Gun Club. It was like, man, where's the comics?
Yeah.
I mean, they're actually amazing people that I met in New York. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. But still, on the surface, it was kind of like it was New York. You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be necessarily funny when you step out of the car.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, there's not Henny Youngman. standing there.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, especially like probably back in the day, more of a wry wit over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they had
Yeah.
it. And it was, you know, we're New Yorkers, we're the best. And that's just the end of the argument. There is no argument, really. And so that was kind of fun to make fun of them.
Yeah.
You know, for being like that. Because I never felt disconnected or felt less because I was a resident of Southern California. I loved it. I wanted to get back. When I went to Europe, couldn't wait to get back to that because it's just something, I don't know, you connect with it or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you did.
Oh, big
You know,
time.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, talking about that angsty hardness. I mean, there, I think it's just the winter.
Oh,
It's
Chicago's
out of
got some
everybody.
angst.
Yeah. It's got some
Right.
some edge. So, yeah, when I was 14 and we moved out here, it was like, oh, my God, finally. I don't feel at odds with my environment and everybody in
Right.
it all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool thing. I mean, it just, you know, people from all over the place too. It's just all right here.
Stay at the newest and the most deluxe hotels in these cities.
Have you ever thought of this? To get away from the big crowds, to relax and play.
I mean, you guys, you've been on a bit of a sabbatical.
Yeah, about
Is that what you would call it? Sabbatical?
I would say sabbatical is an adequate term, yes.
a radical sabbatical.
A radical
Radical
sabbatical.
sabbatical? Cool,
Yeah.
For how long?
It's, as far as live shows go, been,
Like roughly a year.
yeah, a year probably, really,
About a
since
year?
punk rock bowling, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did the punk rock. What was the story behind that? You guys, you had to work that day?
So basically, the way it worked out with punk rock bowling was we got hit up for the club show, which was great and something we had wanted to do for a long time, and we weren't aware until we had already agreed to it and signed the contract that you have to cover your own housing at a reduced rate, but it's Memorial Day weekend in Las Vegas, so I think it was maybe like you get 10% discount or something like that. We were playing Friday night. And so the way it ended up working out was we could only afford to get the hotel room for Thursday night because as soon as you hit the weekend, the prices shot through the roof. So, and we also couldn't afford to take time off of work because we had to cover rental car and the gas because the 91 Accord was not up to making it out there.
Nor was my shitty car of a similar make and model.
Yeah.
So,
91, not so much fun.
So what we ended up doing was we both worked Thursday, got home from work, picked up the rental car, drove out there through the night on Thursday, checked into the hotel like 3 a.m. or something like that. Figured we'd have like a few hours to sleep before checkout time. And then we would just, wander through casinos until it was time to go on. And then we got to the hotel. Well,
Did you just wander and drop $1 here and there in the slots?
Oh, we didn't even have $1 to drop, Terry.
Yeah.
Lee was trying to gamble with this fake, the film money where it's like $50 and $100 bills meant for filming, but it's not real money.
Yes.
He was trying to jam one of those into a slot
Oh,
machine
yeah.
and it
Well,
wasn't taking.
And somehow it didn't work?
Well,
Oh
we
my
got
God,
out there.
I don't get it.
And I was like, oh, I don't have any cash. And then I was like, wait, I got this 50 in my pocket for some reason. I'm like, awesome. I kept feeding it into the machine. I'm like, my money's not good here. It kept rejecting.
Yeah.
And another machine put it in, rejecting. What the hell's wrong with this? And, I could see kind of some of the eyes turning towards me as, I got more and more frustrated with the machine and then looked down and saw that for motion picture purposes only. And then it was like, okay, we got to get the fuck out of this casino.
Yeah.
Was it like not enough sleep or was it?
Well, not enough sleep because an interesting twist to that was our best laid plan of the 3 hours of sleep in the hotel room we got in there and it had a cricket infestation.
Yes, and
Oh,
desert
cool.
crickets are brutal, and like they look like they're made of obsidian, just like this
Yeah.
shiny black shell, indestructible. I had to lift up the carpet and gas it with Lee's hairspray.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we spent
Damn.
probably 2 hours of that 3 hours of sleep, like hearing him turn on the light,
Yeah.
find where they're at, pull the carpet back,
Jeez.
hit him with the
And
hairspray.
What hotel was this?
This was the Golden Nugget.
Nugget.
Oh, the Golden Nugget.
Yeah. The Nug.
There went the free rooms for the Golden
Yeah.
Nugget in the future, but
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
An infestation of desert crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like deafening. I can sleep through just about anything.
It's
Yeah.
just imprecise noise at random intervals is like the key. I think it's a tactic they use in Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, or they could.
They
I mean, that's
do.
perfect.
They do. I think
That's like-
famously Skinny Puppy filed a lawsuit because they were using a Skinny Puppy track. Yeah,
So,
So,
in Guantanamo
okay,
Bay.
so, yeah. So crickets,
yeah.
no sleep, loud cricket noises, and then what happens? You wake up the next morning or whenever,
Yeah.
and you have to do what?
We have to check out of the hotel and then kill, 6 or 7 hours before load-in and sound check. And attempted to pass bad money at a casino. Got out
Yeah.
of there real quick.
Right.
Because I know Joe Pesci's in the basement with the table vice.
Yeah,
saying,
he's
"Don't make me
he's
be a
there.
bad guy."
Right. And if he's not there, just the image or the thought that he's there is kind of cool. Because
Yeah.
when I first went to Las Vegas in the very early '80s, the mob was still there. It wasn't like it was, but they're still there. The Riviera and places, Chicago mob still had a presence, and it was always that thought
Yeah.
of that guy in the basement
Yeah.
who was still there.
Yeah.
Probably he might have been a little older. Maybe he couldn't break fingers quite as fast, but
you
he
don't
was
need to when
there.
you have electrodes. Like
Well,
a car battery electrodes
whatever
on-
old school
Yeah.
stuff they may have used to be convincing. But that's what I thought was cool about Vegas.
Yeah,
Is
totally.
that it kind of still had that presence, but you knew it was on the way out.
Yeah.
You could just feel it.
Even then.
Yeah.
It just that sort of weird desert vibe that like there's a transition going on here, and and then corporate takes over. Which
Yeah.
is worse.
Yeah.
No.
Which would you rather have? I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
I'll take the mob.
and
any day.
and that was the thing too. It was like it was interesting because just like cruising around was like it was like a sensory drain in the sense that like the corporate logic applied to a space like Vegas creates a kind of space where like if the internet were a physical place,
Yeah,
you
there
know,
go. There you go.
there's like a ceiling over that main strip with screens, so you can like look at the sky and see advertisements and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Like a less cool Blade Runner.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, like
Uh-huh.
a campy Blade Runner.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still like that, unfortunately, but there was that time. Anyway, so you guys, and you played? I mean, were you feeling this lack of sleep, energy, food, sanity?
Yeah.
We
How,
certainly
how would you
condition.
rate the show?
That's a complicated question, Terry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know there's a lot of energy when that, punk rock bowling. So there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
all kinds of shit going on. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I think when that, as I'm sure you know better than anyone, when that adrenaline kicks in, it's like it
yeah, I
doesn't-
know.
Yeah.
You just do it.
whatever kind of shape you're in, it's like you got the
It's-
spirit in you for a moment before it quickly leaves and you turn to dust. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was interesting because it was like, and we were so grateful to play it. Still grateful. It was sick, but it was like the space was just like not. It was a big
Yeah.
space, so it like wasn't. And it was like, what was that setup? It was like it used to be a theater or something, and we were like in the lobby.
Yeah, if you imagine like the lobby of not like a cool old movie theater, but like an AMC strip mall
Yeah.
movie theater, but they
Right.
put a stage in it.
Yeah.
We were opposite the concession stand kind
Yeah,
of deal.
it's like it was the kind of show setup that you only see at NAMM, kind of, as far as like space and stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
barricades too in front of the stage, which
Yeah,
kind of
so
like
it was like a little bit of a weird one. It felt like we couldn't connect in the way that we're used to in smaller clubs and stuff, or like bigger venues that are built
Yeah.
for that sort of experience.
Well, when you go there,
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an unusual environment anyway.
Yeah.
And you didn't really go into there into the best physical, ideal conditions.
True.
Yeah, but
And
we're also
so-
used to working with sub-ideal conditions because it was like the whole Europe tour. We were like blown out in a way that I've never been blown out before.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Europe.
Well, except that's a lie because I mean the Portland tour where I was sick, like
Every tour we've done has been like a
It's been
brutal
blown out, yeah.
Calvinist
Yeah,
slog
Calvinist- yeah,
through a dark,
kamikaze mission.
dark
What
valley
is
of the
it? Is
soul.
yeah.
Is it God trying to tell you something, or is it just rock and roll?
Oh,
trying
I
to
don't
tell you
believe
something?
anything that guy
Oh,
says.
okay.
It's rock and roll with
This guy.
with a limited income and no external financial or booking support. I think
Exactly.
But you do it anyway.
Oh, yeah,
of
totally.
course.
Get on that stage.
Proof of
and-
existence.
and you
One
make it
has
work.
to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we played the set, watched as much of the rest of the bands as we could, and at about probably 12:30, 1 a.m., it was like, we got to get back in the car and drive back to LA so I can return this rental and we can go back to work.
Go
Yeah.
back to work. And you went right back to work.
And pretty much right
Did
after,
that.
yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee and I have an uncanny talent for generating work circumstances that only existed during the Great Depression era and the feelings that come with those work circumstances.
Who knew? I mean, but it serves you very well, right?
Oh, thanks,
to
Joey.
to have that kind of adaptability, let's call it.
Well, I mean, that is one
you.
thing. It's like if you are used to just like full throttle DIY like attrition missions, at least you know your metals are tested.
Yeah.
You know, we've been in some pretty hectic circumstances.
No, you're like battle hardened soldiers.
It'll be the thing
You know?
when we finally get some kind of booking representation or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna have an easy job.
Oh fuck.
That guy's gonna have the easiest job.
Dependency or the desire for the use of the drug.
Of course, Southern California abounds in the unusual.
Provides radiation surveillance support for the nuclear energy exploration program.
So then, you guys met when?
We met through our friend Jenny Davis when I must have been 17 years old. And
I was 19 because
Yeah.
that was like fresh out of high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was right when Colin's first real project was getting started. So I met him
yeah.
and then quickly saw him perform. And, yeah.
Right. Well, I won't ask your ages, but you've known each other for
More than a decade.
more than a decade.
Yeah.
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys met because what? Was it music? Was it hairstyle? Was it the shoes you were wearing or
No.
Well, you know,
cologne?
well, we even got started talking because our friend Jenny that introduced us had said, "Oh yeah, my friend Colin, you really like him. He likes the Screamers and the Monks." Which
Yeah.
for me
okay.
was like, "Oh
Cool.
shit, that's
Yeah, and
the guy to know."
We were both at this kind of party that we couldn't quite relate to. I'm gonna protect the innocent. Yeah, it was just like there was nothing kind of going on, and then like Lee and I started talking, and like talking about the Monks and the Screamers was kind of the most exciting thing happening at this party,
Right.
especially like because this is maybe 2009 or 10.
Very early 2010.
Yeah, very early 2010. So it was like social media flattening everything and services like Spotify democratizing deep cuts hadn't quite happened yet. So it was like if you saw someone with a cool pin, I mean, a process that I'm sure you guys are quite familiar with. You see someone with a button of a band you like, you hear someone talk about a band that not everyone knows, and then
Yeah.
you're like, I don't care what the reality of the situation is. I need to have this person in my life because they are one of the
Right.
precious few that understand like what I'm going through right now.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, no, and
See, that-
so it was just so beautiful to like talk with Lee and also like find someone else that at that time. This was also when indie music was like very popular, which I was never quite a fan of.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, so it was like someone else who liked good, strange, upbeat rock and roll.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
Right. Right. Well, that it's what amazes me. When I pre-COVID, started going out and seeing bands and young bands, new bands, and all that kind of thing. I mean, I felt like I want to do that because I want to support these people. I didn't know if I could. I didn't know if I'd meet anybody, and I didn't really care. I just wanted to be there, and I wanted to see it because I thought, well, my God, what are they doing that was different from what we did? Well, nothing. And they're just getting on stage. They're trying to make something that they like that makes sense. But they're inspired and driven, by this feeling to want to do something different, to want to do something that matters and that's honest. And man, that's what I heard. Band after band after band. I mean, you guys were probably
I know we met.
one of the first ones. I mean, we
met you.
I don't quite. Well, we met now that night when I was hitchhiking on that road in the desert.
Right near the sign that said "Don't pick up hitchhikers." Federal Correctional.
All
Facility.
I remember, there's some unanswered questions about that because all I remember was walking and there were UFOs. There was the atomic testing over that range of hills, and then the voice of God that I heard. And then you guys pull up, in this pickup truck and screaming like, what was that song? I think it was Jim Dandy to the Rescue. That's it. Yeah.
Classic.
And you guys were just, man.
We were rocking out.
Yeah, you were doing that.
I just gotten the subwoofers put in, and we were
The
Yeah,
desert's,
working them
I
in.
can
Yeah,
hear it.
the
totally,
desert's
yeah.
full of rocks. You got to rock along with it.
Right. And,
Yeah.
nobody was stopping for me. I put my finger out. Nobody cares. And you guys did. And then, let's see, you were driving, I think. And then you got out of the seat. You told me to slide in the middle. Because it was that old pickup truck with the bench seat.
Not
And I
hide.
thought, oh, man, I don't know. This is going to be Deliverance, desert
I mean,
edition.
I will say Terry did discover the cushion of my pushin in that.
Is that
bench
what
seat.
happened? Because
Yeah, I built an airbag down.
I don't
below.
remember,
know.
man. I was lost in the base once Camptown races kicked in
you were
and that
just
Alpine
there.
hit. That was,
It
Yeah.
was
I was
like
on
a
another planet, man.
hard style remix. Of
I just
Camptown
couldn't get
Races.
over...
The bass was like.
Yeah. Well, that I was just trying to interpret, let's say, the voice of God that I'd heard right before
Whoa.
I don't know what was in that gas station burrito that I'd eaten just before you guys picked me up, but whatever it was,
it's best not to
I had
know.
to figure this
Yeah.
out, and so I don't know what you guys were doing, but that's what I mean. I don't know. So anyway, we met like that, and then I don't remember anything. It's like I blacked out.
Yeah, it was a bright
And
light
then the
for a
next
second.
thing, you guys were at a show at some little club in L.A., and then I went to that show.
The
I don't remember how I found
Tavern.
out. There
Yeah.
might have been a way that I found out, but for some reason I can't remember what it is.
I don't really remember anything between the pickup truck ride and being at the Hyperion, which
Yeah, it's
when I
weird.
black out is
I just
usually
remember that.
historically where I've ended up.
I just remember
So-
that,
Yeah.
that hardstyle techno remix of Camptown Races with the bass that was like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But then we
So-
ended up at the Hyperion Tavern.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
God.
that was that. And I saw you guys, and I thought, wow, this is really cool.
Oh, thanks,
Because
Terry.
they're doing something that they've got a genuine feel for what they're doing. In other words, it's realized. It's not like they're up there, here's 3 chords that we've all heard a billion times. But this is an effort to create something. This is an effort to be an artist.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, that was the opening band, and then you guys. Yeah. So,
And by opening band, you mean just like Karen Centerfold with one haggard tambourine?
yeah, that was that. So, no. That was just really impressive. And then, what shocked me. Excuse me, it's that burrito. But 5 years later, I'm
it
still
haunts me
feeling
too,
it.
man. It
Yeah,
haunts
I
me
know,
too.
man.
Dill Scorch.
But what amazed me, and what has amazed me about a number of people that I met during that time, that were, I guess, at that time, late 20s, whatever, was that you guys knew basically more about the bands I was in than I did. And I thought, wow, these people, it's not I mean, I know you have a phone, and I know you have this amazing resource at your fingertips. But it's one thing to have it and not use it. But those people that have it and actually use it and read and learn and remember, and listen to things, that's impressive. That's really impressive because you're really utilizing that stuff. And I was just kind of blown away that because I didn't care about that. I wasn't expecting any of that. And for you guys to come out, and tell me what Jeffrey had for breakfast the day before we went in the studio, and then, that woman that I was with that night and a half after the burrito, and for you guys to tell me all of it. I mean, it was pretty impressive shit. No, I really was impressed and flattered and amazed, and it just made me respect you guys even more because I thought, well, these are guys, they've got brains and they're using them.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
Thank you, man.
what can I say?
Appreciate
I mean, it's
that.
true. And that's why I still love your music. And that's why, not being on stage for a year is pretty excuseless.
Oh.
Well, we had to go back to the
interesting way-
old drawing board to make sure those songs were still coming through impressively.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very interesting way
I
for
had
the
to nail you.
conversation to turn.
Hey, fair enough.
Because, people, I mean, I've watched you guys play from that point, and you had fans then, but I've watched this whole evolution, and it was really starting to change into something that I had felt before for myself, where you're just like this, you got 20 people, and then all of a sudden it just seems to kind of really spread out, and it's really starting to, gain traction, like in a big way. That's what was happening.
Become fractile, and the mind finds rest in the vague drift of one's meanderings, right? This is such a tale. Let's go!
That was going to play the very important role of the measuring rod.
Just like the days when there was only one railroad line from coast to coast.
So I saw you guys playing, and you played and played and played. Played and played and played, and then, of course, COVID happened. And then you were not playing at all, and not playing and not playing.
And so was everyone.
And so was everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the last show, that last night.
Yeah.
Shut it all down.
I fractured my arm at that show.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a harbinger of things to come.
For sure.
But what was the goal for you guys? I mean, were you like traditionally going for an album? You wanted to make a record? Was it to go to Europe? Album and Europe? What was the idea?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, it was kind of all of the above, and I know, because even before you saw us, we had been going for
Yeah.
a while. I mean, there were months where we would do
Between
what's our-
7 and 11
Yeah,
shows a month for
7,
like
11.
2 years straight.
Yeah,
No, and
Did you play a 7-Eleven?
I mean,
that was
mean,
the only
I'm-
place we didn't. But
yeah,
if they would have had us. I
we
would've done
definitely
it.
played around in the parking lot at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Forbidden, crunch wrap rollers.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no. Behind the 7-Eleven, all kinds of
But-
things happen. And this is not the show for that.
Yeah, the forbidden
But-
spicy bite.
Yeah, we can do that another time.
No, but it's weird because I think also Lee and I had a lofty goal where it was like just to do something culturally relevant and emotionally right, and other goals were tacked on to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was kind of like an emphasis on live performance because that was affecting the material infrastructure of the society around us,
Yeah. Right.
You tell people things, and we've only recently learned to develop like a taste for more concrete goals. There were different
Well,
campaigns, like playing South by. We did that.
Yeah, it was kind of. We just, I think the thought in it was we would play as much as we could, kind of brute force exposure.
Yeah.
And the plan was always from when we first started, it was like, okay, if we make one new fan per show,
Okay. Yeah.
and play hundreds of shows, we'll have hundreds of fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and some of this was spurred on by good and bad influence, and this is like I guess an interesting thing for like younger people in bands to interpret. We read "Get in the Van" by Henry Rollins, and we were awestruck by how Black Flag didn't turn down any shows. So we were just kind of. It seemed but that also seemed to make sense in a digital age where like scenes were now decentralized from time and space. You don't hang out at record stores to be in the know. You can be in the know remotely.
Yeah.
And also LA is a city. The fucking what is it? Topography of Los Angeles decentralized. Yeah. There's 100 neighborhoods and 100 scenes that you'll never find out about because they're buried in there and with these remote access points. So it's like our whole plan was just to like get around as much as possible, almost like explorers of uncharted lands.
Well, but I remember though that it did reach a point, where you guys were like pretty excited to be able. What happened with that? You had somebody that said they would take you in the studio, produce all this kind of stuff. You didn't really have a label, but you were, pretty stoked about taking those steps.
Totally, and that's what we've been working on actually this past year. Because one of the realizations we had was between the amount we were playing locally, and then gotten like a little bit of an idea of what the tours were like. It was impossible to try to write and also learn the new equipment that we've been using and do all that while maintaining that kind of schedule. And
it was kind of insane. Because that's the other thing. It's like Lee and I, there's a lot of musicians in LA that have these like great safety nets, come from good families or whatever. Yeah. We've had to work day jobs. We've had to stack day jobs. A lot of young artists in LA will understand this. It's like you've got to find ways to actualize your creative will in the small pockets of time between like car breakdowns and getting to work.
Yeah. Well, I actually have yet to meet an actual good family.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's true.
I've met wealthy families.
Yeah.
But a good family. Maybe there's been one or two.
They're out there.
People are trying. Yeah, they're trying. Some people get pretty close. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But we're almost all of us kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that amazes me is just the lack, I don't want to say lack, but I want to say the similarities between what I remember on the streets of LA, because, there's not an hour of any Los Angeles night that I'm not familiar with. And it's
we've seen the footage.
Same thing.
We've seen the footage.
You've seen the footage.
Yeah, we've seen. It was, what was the band? It was Crime.
Got him in trouble now.
It was Crime.
Oh, the Crime After Party?
Yeah,
It was the Tropicana?
Yeah, it was Tropicana, Crime After Party. you know, someone snuck in a camcorder or whatever, was filming the after party. There sits Terry, kind of bummed out with a hamburger, and a girl that he's not really paying a lot of attention to, and she's not paying attention to him, but they're just sitting.
But there is the hamburger.
There's the hamburger.
I mean,
the signature half-eaten hamburger, and like Terry's emotionally nebulous gaze, just like.
well, you know, food. I mean, what can I say?
Fair enough.
Let me eat, and then we'll talk. Okay. Well, so yeah, but we need to change the subject.
How the tables have turned, Mr.
But
Graham.
yes, the LA night.
Yeah, but we've
Well-
seen you encounter LA nights that you weren't even aware at the time we would see.
But you saw yourself in that.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I see myself in
Dude,
you.
I've been bummed out with a
And that-
hamburger and like a relationship that's not working out so many times.
or a relationship that you want to
Of course.
start, but you got a hamburger. And what are you going to
Exactly.
do?
You're gonna,
I mean,
Priorities.
it's half eaten.
you're gonna eat half of the hamburger and then
Do I
just
have to eat the other half?
think
or
about
do
what you've
Or
done.
do I, you know, it's an
Life is a sad
existential
journey. Yeah.
kind of angst
A man
that I
cannot
solved
serve too
by
much.
Yes.
eating the hamburger. So she's gone. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till
There are happy meals and there are unhappy meals. I'm just saying, we've had all types.
right. So we have that. I don't think it ever ends. I think it's probably always been like that
Yeah, for
to
sure.
some degree, even way back, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Oh no, for sure. I
You know,
mean, like,
it's been the same.
Yeah.
It's been that's just the vibe here in LA. It's just it really is a noirish kind of angsty sort of unsettled.
no, there
not
is.
quite in place. Your feet are sort of here. You're
Yeah.
not sure.
Well, because also, like, I feel like one thing about LA is because we're in the media's backyard.
I thought
you
you
know,
were gonna say
every
butthole.
no,
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
whatever.
growing to be that way increasingly is, you know, we have all these flop films. No, but we're in the media's backyard, so it's like they're more liable to just like not pay attention to you. There's also like different cities attract different kinds of people, and I don't know if like the LA attracts like intellectuals per se. So there's a lot of people that are just trying to like come up or think they're partaking in some kind of current that will take them to the top. You come
Yeah.
across those people, so there's always a dissonance in the way you're reading a situation you occupy versus the way these other people are reading
Right.
the same situation and apprehending the same material of the scene.
Well, don't you think that LA is like that? I mean, it's so nebulous in
It's
a way
nebulous,
that
for
everybody
sure.
comes to this, regardless of what inspired them to be,
Yeah.
or at least in the past. I mean, I don't know how they can afford it anymore, but at least you know that you don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but at least in our case, we had music
Yeah.
that united us, and then oh my God, you know, then it was just ripples on an endless lake past that, as far as whatever people were doing or into or interested in. And I you know, I didn't really want to know, but I found out, and then that's when I didn't really want to know.
Yeah.
You know, after
Some mysteries
found
best left unsolved.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, please leave it a mystery.
The economic feasibility of using nuclear explosions.
Brain damage and what we call chronic brain disease.
And he's had Demerol twice.
But so still, you did get to that point, because I remember talking to you, and this is long after the burrito and the pickup and the voice of God and whatever the hell happened that night. So what happened with this guy? He was going to produce your record.
You know, that's there's been a couple people that we've talked to, so that's kind of where we're at right now. There's still some standing
Still
offers.
talking? Is that
Yeah.
person or other people that are exciting for you?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
no, there's like a couple really good options, and I think one of the things that we kind of took our sabbatical to do was just to grow as artists and make sure that we're good for the challenge, because this is like a very this generation problem to have with pre-programmed music. You play the riff, you punch it in, you put it in a folder, you forget about it. At a certain point, you need to be engaged in musicianship. So it's kind of like, otherwise you're not sure what you're going to do, or like you get these brilliant moments that just kind of get buried under 100 other half-realized moments. So it's like, it was kind of good to just, and also like the LA scene is pretty competitive. There are a lot of people trying to like get their way to the top, and that can be great for an artist, but also it's good to kind of take a step back and get back to the source and say like, what drives me to wield the materials I wield, and what is the process by which one wields them?
Yeah, and I mean, didn't you realize or discover, not so much realize, but kind of discover along that path that, you know, when you're in a band, you're constantly asking, is this worth it? Is it good? Is it, do I want to keep? I mean, you do, but nonetheless, you have those moments, you know, where you're being real with yourself. And, you know, I mean, I think ultimately that if you just don't give up, if you just keep doing it, even through those low periods, or where maybe it's not even low, you're just trying to figure it out. You know, it's not as, sometimes the focus seems better than it, you know, at certain times than others. But if you just keep going through that, you feel so much better that you did that. You're really glad that you did that. And I get the feeling for you guys now, you know, that because you've had this time off, because you kind of walked up to that, you know, bottomless pit, which is, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. Or maybe, you know, in your 30s, like I've warned you guys, that's when your brain starts to fuck with you a little bit. Oh, you're getting old. You're getting older. What are you going to do? You're going to be doing this 5 years from now? 10 years from now? What are you going to do? Now, for me, it, you know, pretty much ruined my life. But for you guys, because the lesson is, I should have kept going. I wish I'd continued to be a drummer or try to play drums, because I had a lot of bands asking me to play for them. And I wish I'd done that. And I just get this feeling for you guys, you're kind of right now that you're coming back, you've got new material, and, you know, you've got a big show coming up on July 7th at Zebulon.
Or July 8th.
July 8th
at Zebulon.
Self-improvement release show. Big deal.
Self-improvement record release show.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And that's really going to be a nice showcase. But I just kind of have this feeling that you're going to be going into that and then into your continued future on a really, really energized, higher note. You know, I mean, do you feel like you're kind of re-energized and you're, you know, or am I just, you know, blowing tons of smoke at my ass?
No, I think 100%. I think that having time.
Oh, wait, I'm on fire.
Oh.
I'm good.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
That's okay. Don't blow on my butt, okay? Only certain.
Oh,
people
man.
do that.
Hey,
I knew
that's
you
what I
guys
was-
really well.
What happens in the
reason I-
pickup truck stays in the pickup truck,
The
my
only reason I
friend.
agreed to do
Listen,
this
we're not
interview,
going to talk
man.
about that tonight. We can talk about it, but just.
I'm trying to freebase some Uncle Terry.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I forget what the question was. Does it really matter? But please keep answering.
Yeah, no, I think having that time off to check in with oneself, because also it's, you know, I mean, you're right, as one gets older, I mean, I know it was never a question for us whether we were going to keep going or not, but there is the, like, you know,
how?
How and what does this look like in my 30s versus, you know, I mean, I know for me when we first started, I was using a fake ID to get into our shows. So
Yeah, for sure.
The entirety of my 20s. So it's like, okay, I'm like, you know, I got 10 years of road damage on me now. What does this look like?
Right.
So I think coming back centered and also coming back with new material that we feel good about.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's really the big thing.
Exactly, to catch up with ourselves, because also this is the funny thing about aging. By the time you figure out the traumas and damages...
Tell me something funny about it, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you something funny. Okay. By the time you figure out the traumas and damages of, like, your teens and 20s, guess what? You're 28 and you're on the cusp of aging into new problems, you know? There's...
Is that funny?
Yeah.
I'll see you laugh.
Yeah.
It's a tragic comedy. But no,
I'm going to cry first, and then and I'll get to the laughter. No, but just let me cry it out.
But it's one of the things where it's like, I always think about English stage actors in the Shakespearean theater. When they start out, they get cast as like Hamlet or Romeo, and then you age a while, and then you get to play King Lear
There you go.
or Richard. You know what I mean? It's one
I
of
like
those
that.
things where it's like your emotions and your relationship to them and your way of rendering them and your apprehension of these emotions and apprehension of the way other people apprehend the way you disclose emotions, it all changes. You know, because rock and roll's about music, yes, but it's also about desire, cultivating the desire of the audience, projecting and directing desire. So when you get older and the mechanics within you start to change, you need to find another viable language by which to express, because the second you're on that stage, you're not a human, you're a symbol. And what do symbols do? They conduct desire. And if a symbol does not have an awareness of its own connotations, how does it guide desire? It doesn't, you know?
There you go. Philosophy.
Yeah.
It's philosophy major.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Oh,
That's
thanks,
right.
man.
That's
Yeah.
right, because it's got to be, if it's not a continual process of redefining, you know, what you're doing, and you can look at any band, you know, that's been around for 20 years,
Yeah.
or 30 years, or 40 years, and, you know, for a lot of them, I mean, the fans get so mad, you know, when a band comes out with new stuff, and it's not like the old stuff. It's like, well, but that's just what you do. You continue to refine and you know, develop and you mature. And like you said, as you get older, your brain changes. You have different perspectives on things. And so your music is probably going to sound different. It's probably going to be a reflection of that. But the great thing is that it can be a reflection of that. You know, you can actually, I'm not a philosophy major. It's economics and communication.
LA Trade Tech.
You just
Yeah,
economics.
LA Trade Tech. So
I
you
never
know,
went to college.
but still, I love that though, because that's if you don't think like that, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
any extended period of time.
Well, and especially in this day and age where it's like, you know, punk and like guitar based like rock and roll, this isn't the dominant form of pop music. You're already like not gonna, you know, like Lee and I are not gonna be contenders vying for Post Malone's Post Throne. You know what I mean? Like,
Well-
so it's like you have to do it from a place of like loving what you do and the materials that you.
Yes, exactly. Well, I
yeah,
know
exactly.
what that's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were never contenders for any of that.
No, exactly. That's
But-
the thing.
But that's at a certain point, you know, I just thought, well, I would love to make some money. I'd love to make a lot of money. Just give me one hit.
Yeah.
Why doesn't, you know, John Bonham died? Why doesn't Led Zeppelin call me and just do one tour with us?
Damn,
You know,
just Terry
record
drumming
one
for
album.
Wham.
Yeah, I you know, I'll do it. And
Terry drumming for Right Said Fred, Right Said Ted.
I'll do it. So, you know, I mean,
But for large, dangerous burns, cover the wound with a dry, clean dressing.
Sounds like we got trouble everywhere.
Yep, but keep sweeping the van.
A decision has to be made, and soon.
but ultimately, I have to say, without any doubts or reservation, that I'm so glad I was able to do what I did, which was just, at least while I was doing it, I believed in it, I loved it, and I really and truly didn't care. I wish it had been more popular, but on its own terms. Not more popular.
Well, I think history's vindicated that, though. I mean, like, I think
but not-
Gun Club
it's
probably
not-
has more fans now than.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it didn't buy me a new car.
No.
Did it buy me
and
a new car?
that's
It
the
didn't buy me a
thing.
new
But
car.
okay, there's like some wisdom
It
there.
did buy me a hamburger.
Dude,
though.
what was I going to say?
yeah,
Over and
burger.
over.
I was, you know, as one does, you listen to like Iggy Pop. Dude, that phrase, I'm worth $1 million in prizes, becomes real in a way that's like
Yeah.
emotionally, like it kneecaps me emotionally because I'm just like, fuck, man, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But
I can get free drinks at any bar in Long Beach, but.
Well,
you
it
know,
feels
but I can't,
good.
But I
It
can't
feels
get
good. Yeah.
tags for my automobile.
well, it's just an affirmation of what you were saying.
Yeah.
Besides the tags, which are pretty expensive, because you do that thing, and you whatever you're doing, but you know, being honest about it and true to really what inspires you. First of all, you will have fans, and like you were saying earlier, I mean, we live in a really disjointed kind of entertainment, you know, landscape.
Yeah.
So it's not focused like it was, but I'm not sure that it was ever all that focused anyway. But so the point I think ultimately is, can you sleep with yourself? Can you feel good about it?
Yeah.
That what you did was at least honest.
Yeah.
And you were honest with yourself, and you made music that you really liked doing, and you did have fans. Okay, well, you know, that's enough. That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
it's like,
100%. And I think, like, I mean, it bears out, and Gun Club is actually one of the bands that I think of specifically in this context as far as what does success look like.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, and when I first found Gun Club, I feel like it was the band that I found that none of my friends knew. And it was when I found Fire of Love, it was like,
none of
this
my
is
friends
mine.
knew either.
Fair enough. But you know, I found it at the, you know, it was I think it was probably 14. It was like my first like teenage heartbreak, and it was Ghost on the Highway, and I was like, how does this guy know exactly what I'm feeling right now? And it's like,
right.
You know, and I mean, obviously the band wasn't playing then. Jeff wasn't around at that point, but it was like it could reach out.
Yeah,
across history and speak to me, and it's like, and that's the kind of thing that you can never know. So it's like,
right.
You know, if there's something that we leave behind that can have that same effect,
exactly.
That's
I know,
success.
because you affect people beyond your immediate peers, beyond the fans in the room, but people that you don't even know, and potentially people that haven't even been born.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just a cool thing, you know. And I don't know. At the end of the day, the money I might have made a lot of money. Where the fuck would it be now? Yeah. I have no idea. I don't keep receipts. I know people that keep receipts. I wouldn't have kept any receipts. I don't know where it would have gone. But that kind of thing, it's there forever. It's with me my whole life.
Exactly.
So nothing feels better than that. Man, nothing feels better than that.
Well, and then that's the thing, because it's like, if you have that, you are like forging the contours of emotional topographies you'll never meet, the inner worlds of people.
Yeah.
Like Lee associating a Gun Club track with his first heartbreak. That's like a little bit of Terry just carving out a little bit of the sand.
That's right.
Within Lee, you know?
Yeah. That's that butt smoke.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. It happens every time. Well, so we're gonna do a part 2, because there's other stuff I need to ask you, and other stuff that the American public is dying to know about. And if they're not dying to know about it, they will understand why they should have been once we get into this. So we'll do that when we come back. But in the meantime, you're going to go to Hawaii, and you're going to spend time with someone.
I'm going to go to Hawaii with Lee.
You're going to Hawaii.
Jenny Davis is getting married. This is a big
actually,
deal.
the friend that introduced us is getting married.
Yeah.
So that's a huge
It all
deal.
comes full circle.
That's
exactly.
And by the time we reconvene, the statute of limitations on a couple things are going to have run out, and I can discuss.
That's glad, yeah, because I was going to get into that, but you know, we've run out of time for this session. So
I'm trying to run into
I
time.
can't do that, yeah. But thank you guys. Very
Thank
much
you,
for
Terry.
this, and we will continue this. This will be continued.
Better
Very
believe
soon.
it.
Yeah, very soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to Doza. Love you.
Let's all put our dicks on that.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you'll be shocked at what you find there, and no pun intended.
That's exactly why I want to do it. I'm ready.
No, but it legitimately deboned me. I was scared.
Anyway, so okay, here we are again. After a word from our sponsors.
Edit that out.